Gentlemen, y'all strive for gold in your life, right? Gold medals, gold watches, gold everything. However, there is a certain type of man who goes the extra mile. He walks with confidence of a lion and he giggles in the face of danger. He's a big, hairless winning machine, and when he unzips his pants, he sees platinum. That's right. Manscaped would like to announce that their biggest and best ultimate hygiene bundle, the Platinum Package 4.0, is now available worldwide. JT, Manscaped is the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now trust them with your whole hygiene routine.
Amazing. Amazing. Give this man the Academy Award.
This is the real deal, guys, but in seriousness.
No, it's great. It's actually great.
We got the Platinum 4.0 package. They sent it to us.
Yes.
We've both been using it.
Yep.
And I believe that for a hairy gentleman, you had success.
I did. When I was on the road and I was traveling overseas, it was actually awesome. Not surprisingly, but, I also get a bit hairy shoulders, hairy forearms. It just across the board, the thing that really I loved was just is really quick. And battery life was great. And it's a compact little unit. It does the business.
Yeah.
It was really good. I'm a fan. Like I didn't know what to expect at first, but now I'm like total convert. It's really good.
I'm exactly the same. And look, so you guys know what's up. Manscaped have partnered with us to sponsor the show. So we'll be plugging them on the show, the audio version and also the YouTube one. And we're super stoked to do that because we both use the product. I actually used it before they sent us the 4.0 package, and I've always been a supporter of it. I like staying clean and tidy, and Manscaped helps me do that. So check it out. You too can have this same level of hygiene. You can get 20% off and free shipping when you use the code GRIZZLY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. It's time you enjoyed the finer things in life. Get yourself a platinum package for your platinum package.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bulletproof for BJJ podcast. I am JT, and I'm very excited to be here with my partner in crime, Joey.
Hey guys, I'm also moderately excited to be here. Actually, no, let's scale that up a little bit today. We got a cool fucking topic on the table.
This is huge.
I mean, every week's a cool topic, but this is one of the coolest.
Top 5 action movies of all time. Amazing. Now, man, action movies. We did martial arts movies, right?
If you didn't catch that, it was about 30 episodes ago. Go check it. It was sick.
It was a good one. It was a goodie. A lot of people loved it and reported back many good things. But action movies is where it started for me. Like, that was like hero times, looking at this amazing stuff. But there's so many good action movies. Like, it's really hard to...
Well, it spans different genres too.
It does.
Coming up with this list is like, oh, is that actually action?
Is that sci-fi?
It's like, yeah, it's sci-fi and action, or it's, mafia and action.
Yeah, right.
So it's a hard one. I mean, martial arts films was tough. This was tougher, in my opinion, to decide.
It's difficult. I went to the heartstrings.
Yeah.
I've gone emotional.
Yep.
So I'm going to start with a childhood favorite, which I think is my softest entry, but maybe people can relate. Indiana Jones, Holy Grail.
That's wholesome.
Oh, it's just, pow, biff, fighting the Nazis, the whip, sticking the rock in the fight scene with the tanks.
The Galima.
Yeah.
Is that...
No, that's Temple of Doom.
Oh, that's Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom.
Ah, shit. I can't even remember the first one.
No. So it was the one with Sean Connery.
Okay.
And they're looking for the Holy Grail.
All right, yep.
And the reason why I chose this one, I've probably seen it the most, even though all the other ones are mad.
Yep.
Temple of Doom and Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is also, they're all very good, and they all have epic scenes. But what I like about it, the thing that struck me is the humor and the action. Like the little bits in between where the German Fräulein is saying, I loved you the most, and Sean Connery sitting there going, oh, I thought so. But she's talking to...
Sean Connery was a baller in that?
He was the father. He was Indiana Jones's dad.
Ah, okay.
And he gets kidnapped. His dad disappears.
Who plays Indiana Jones?
That's Harrison Ford.
Okay, it is Harrison Ford, right.
Yeah, and anyway, there's all these scenes, like they're underneath, they're in the catacombs in Venice, except the catacomb is filled with kerosene. And then they're down there, and then they know that they're down there. The Germans know they're down there trying to get the inscription off the tomb, and they light it up. And then you hear all the rats running. They're like, whoa! And just all this fire coming through, and they got to hide underneath. It's epic, man. And scenes with the boats. For me, there's just so many scenes in that as a kid. And the music, the thematic. Dun, 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 dun.
Music was sick. That's been repurposed everywhere, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. You can hear other movies that have done that big thematic swell, which, yeah, it's cool. You know, Indiana Jones riding a horse against a motorbike. There's so many scenes in that which are, I guess, as a young child, you're just like, that's amazing. This guy's a archaeologist. He's not special forces. He's just got a machine gun, back of a motorbike. He's rips off a flag and jousts a German off a bike.
Yeah, see, it's funny hearing you talk about that. I'm like, oh, Indiana Jones, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I loved that too. I mean, obviously, I couldn't remember the first time. The second one stands out in my memory. But I think for me, as soon as it came to like MA and R-rated shit, all that stuff that was like
just
just forgot about it.
Right.
You know, it was just like, oh, yeah, Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone, like, forget everyone else.
I think the reason why that sticks out in my mind is like there was a humor to it that softened it. So like kids could watch it, but adults could watch it. So for example, there's like 4 dudes standing in a row. He's got like one bullet. He shoots and it goes through all of them and they all drop dead.
Right.
But it's kind of a bit comical.
Yeah.
And there's like,
that's why I said wholesome.
Yeah, it's kind of, but it's funny because like my dad could watch it and be like, oh, cool. And then me as a 7-year-old kid would be like, oh, wow. Oh, amazing. You know, I think there's a cleverness in that.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, there's just some famous lines in that, which one of my favorite is at the end where he has to choose the cup. Now, if you've never seen Indiana Jones, Holy Grail, all right, spoiler alert, the knight who was successful, the knight who was seeking the Holy Grail, who was successful, who drank from the correct cup, has lived forever. He's hundreds of years old. He's sitting there, and he's there to defend the Holy Grail.
Right.
And, you know, the evil guy comes in and he drinks out of the wrong cup. He's like, you must choose the cup. And he's like, oh, look at this blinging cup with diamonds. Yeah, this is the cup of Christ. And he drinks from it and then it just melts, right? And he's like, he chose poorly. Such a great line. I fucking love that line. Whenever my dad drinks out of a cup and chokes, I always say that.
No, you guys got a little thing on Indiana Jones.
But no, it's a bit mean. Oh, he chose poorly. Anyway, it's a great movie. So that's my soft entry. That would be number 5 for me.
No, well, these haven't been ranked. We got to declare that as well.
Okay.
We're just putting them out there in no particular order.
Okay.
First on my list is Hard Target.
Yeah, great movie.
Van Damme at his finest.
Oh, so
well, actually, you could say it was a little bit towards the back end. It was like the the down wave, and it wasn't. There was less martial arts in it. It was more just pure action.
Great mullet.
He had a mullet. It was set in New Orleans.
Boots.
Lance Henriksen.
True.
Played the bad guy.
Yep.
Also had that great South African dude whose name I can't remember. But the premise was so fucking cool.
Oh,
it was
amazing.
like there's this rich guy going around America, and they basically put on these sporting events for other rich dudes where they can hunt real people.
Hunt humans.
Yeah, and it's like they offer homeless people a cash reward. Hey, if you can get to the water, if you can make it to the river, the money's yours. And then, you know, and then like the participants come out and they're armed. It's fucking hectic, right?
Oh.
But what really kind of sold that film for me, I think what makes it exceptional is that it was the directorial debut of John Woo.
Oh,
who was
really?
Chinese director.
Well, I know John Woo, but I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had directed famously Hard Boiled, and the Replacement Killers came after. But Hard Boiled, The Killer, and a bunch of other like Chinese films that probably most of us have never heard of.
Wow.
But he was famous there. His films, I think Hard Boiled had the highest body count in cinema history.
Wow.
At the time that it was released, which was maybe early 90s.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was his first film in America. And so just the style of it is so not typical. It's got those big scenes, Van Damme with the mullet and the jeans, like a Jeans West commercial a lot of the time.
And him doing the spinning kicks in boots, I was like,
bro,
whoa.
yeah, boots, shirt tucked in.
Short tucked.
Fucking sick look.
Great.
Has the mad, his uncle that's like the drunk kind of French New Orleans guy that's horseback with the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, sensational. And then I think I watched that about 12 months ago with Misa, and I was like, this is fucking sick.
Still stands up.
Yeah.
Amazing. I actually saw that at my auntie's house because she would let us Like my auntie, when we go stay with my auntie Rosemary, she'd let us like, just so you know, mum.
That loose, irresponsible
She'd be like,
auntie.
"R18, you're old enough." I'm like 10 years old. Like, yes, let's get it. And my mum would.
She's like, choose whichever video you would like to watch.
Don't tell your mum. And you know, I was never allowed to watch that stuff. So I saw Hard Target when I think I was like 10 or 11. And I was just like frothing the violence.
Oh man, it's on another level.
Hunting humans.
Yeah, and such a cool concept.
Oh yeah, really interesting.
What's your next?
Oh, there's a couple. Okay, so I'm gonna say this one crosses some boundaries. Aliens. Second.
Yeah.
So funny thing about this, I saw the second movie before I saw the first.
Okay.
And obviously the level of production on it was much higher and all of that. But yeah, I just feel like amazing, like Ripley, you know, the whole thing, her getting Newt, getting the little girl from the station.
Was Aliens 3 was when Sigourney Weaver had the shaved head, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the difference. What's the difference between 1 and 2?
So Alien, it's the same kind of premise. They're up there on a space station and they get somebody who appears to be sick. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They've got an alien in them. And then they're like at the table like, what's going on?
Comes out of their stomach.
Yeah, that's so great. And the thing was...
I used to have a T-shirt of that.
Oh,
with
really?
like rubberized prosthetic alien coming out. I'd wear it around as a kid. It was so... My cousin got it for me in America,
Wow.
I think. Yeah.
That's super rolled.
People like, that kid's fucked.
They were right. Man, look, the first one, I went back and tried to watch it. Like, I saw Aliens, I think, when I was like 15 or something. And I was just like, whoa, they've got acid blood.
Yeah.
And the thing which they do so well is they're going into this colony where there's meant to be heaps of people and there's no one. And there's all this carnage, like holes in the floor and like, what the fuck's going... Like,
dead bodies and shit? Or is that Alien 3? Okay, yeah.
Bad stuff's happened here, but it's ominous.
Yeah.
It's not obvious what's going on. But they have a droid with them. Like, they have this robotic faux human with them.
Right.
But they're all Marines. They're all tough. They're all going in there. And actually, Ripley is not a Marine. They've pulled her out of cryogenesis to be on this mission.
She's a scientist or something?
Yeah, she was from the previous mission.
Okay.
And she's like, what? Is this the same thing? Because she witnessed what happened in the first. And there's also a creepy ass dude from the corporation who's like really friendly. Like, no, it'll be just fine. You know, we're just going to collect some samples.
Capitalist fucking pig.
And and the thing that's so brutal about who he is, he seems like just like a real soft jerk. And then he locks her and Newt into a lab with face huggers loose to try and get the aliens in their guts.
Why?
It's a brutal because they're trying to get the aliens for weapons.
Oh, they want
As
to
a
be able to use...
biotech weapon.
Huh.
Bruh, it's brutal.
Capitalism, man, does some bad shit to us.
Well, sci-fi does some bad things to us. But the thing with the scene that sticks in my mind so strongly, apart from get away from her, you bitch. She's in the robotic, the loader.
Yes.
Amazing scene. Like,
Yep.
I think as a fight scene, like Alien versus Mech Woman is dope.
Is it James Cameron? Did James Cameron do
Yes,
Alien?
I believe so.
Aliens? Yep.
Yeah. Is when they're like, blip, 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 blip. And there's like, blip, 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 blip. Where are they coming from? It's 30 meters. I can't see him. Shut the door. Barricade the door. And they've secured the area, right? Because they're trying to... The whole colony's been taken over. And then 10 meters. They're close. They're close. Where are they? Pops the roof, looks up. They're in the roof. Just like, backing up. Just like explosions of acid blood. There's fucking hectic mode. I'm flashing back, Joe. PTSD. Fuck. They're not going to get out. And then the hand grenade and like, oh man. It's just, there's moments in that which make me tense to think about. I don't know why, but when I saw that movie, I was in there.
It was impactful as a kid.
Bro.
Shit. You know what's funny looking back, talking about Sigourney Weaver, because she's an amazing hero, right, to have in a film. Not like, you know, how many, like, not a lot of female heroes, right, in any of these action films. Like, everything on my list it's all guys.
Guys.
Right? But looking back, like she was a savage hero.
Oh.
And there's almost, now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, she was actually like kind of attractive
She
too.
was hot.
But I
Yeah.
didn't realize it at the time because I was a kid.
Man.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
who's this woman? She looks like a mum or something.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, damn, Sigourney was such a gangster.
Yeah, and it's mum versus mum. She gets down there in the basement with the queen.
Okay.
And she's got Newt, and there's the queen there. And she's like, just let us go.
They need a re-release of this shit.
Just let us go.
Re-release in like 4K.
She's got the fucking flamethrower. And I'd never seen a flamethrower before. I was like,
Wow.
oh, that's a boss weapon.
Yeah.
And then, like, the queen, like, unhooks, and she's like, all right, fuck this. Just torches all the eggs, and it's mad.
Next on my list, talking of aliens, is Predator.
Yes.
Had to be.
Yes. Great. I thought you would.
They obviously have to have something Schwarzenegger based in there.
Joseph, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, the CIA got you pushing too many pencils.
So good.
But Predator, again, very similar to Hard Target for me, and I didn't realize this as a kid. I would say that when I was a kid, Predator just fell into the bucket of sick action movies that I want to watch all the time.
Yeah.
Whether it was Kickboxer or that or Hard Target or Bloodsport or fucking Wrong Bet, Double Impact, it was just like an action movie.
Amazing.
But then at some point, as I got older, I watched it and I'm like, man, this film is sick. Like,
great.
it is about an alien being that comes to Earth to hunt humans. And I'm like,
there's a theme here, Joe.
holy shit, right?
Humans hunting humans? Aliens hunting humans?
Right? Hunting. I was destined to become Joe Rogan. But so like this, the hunt, just so cool.
Yeah.
And you're like, because when you're watching it, you just like this platoon is just getting tormented. But you're like, man, this alien is just having fun. It's just a recreational thing.
Yeah.
You know, and you start to piece it together. Interesting fact on that, I'll try and bring on for each film. When I worked in the film industry, I worked in New Zealand on the first Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe franchise, which was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Chronicles of Narnia.
Yes.
And the director of photography that they flew out for that was an Australian man who lived in LA called Don McAlpine.
Okay.
Don McAlpine was also the cinematographer of Predator.
Wow.
I'm trying to think if he won an Academy Award for it. I don't think so.
Did you get a chance to chat to him?
Oh, yeah, he was an older guy.
Right.
I was a shit kicker. He wasn't particularly interested in chatting, but, you know, I didn't get to talk to him about that. You know, in the film, on the film set
Sure, you're
vibe,
lower in the range.
if you were to come and be like, man, I fucking love Predator, it'd be like, get this child off set. But yeah, so I was like, damn, that's cool, Don. That's real cool. Just, you know,
Respect.
yeah. But yeah, that film's fucking sick. And obviously you got all the Arnold stuff.
Yeah.
He's jacked. You got Billy with the minigun.
Oh, yeah.
Going back, got to reference my buddy's podcast, the Double Impact podcast.
Of
They
course.
did a really cool feature, probably on all these films we're mentioning. They've done an episode on it.
Right.
But they mentioned, I listened to their Predator one, and they were talking about Billy. Billy was actually a porn actor
Oh, really?
before he got the gig in Predator.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff of him just slanging that thing.
Slanging the
That's like
the
some
Tommy gun, the
late 70s, early 80s porn.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
That's the golden era.
sideburns. Man, and they had the indigenous guy as well. He like
That's Billy.
That is Billy.
That's him.
Sorry, that is Billy.
Yeah.
And
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers,
Dylan.
of course, Dylan.
Yep.
Yeah, man, amazing. And do it, kill me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Come on. Bruh, so savage.
Yeah, amazing. But Arnold painting himself with mud.
I mean, fucking great. Like strategy, right?
Oh yeah, because
He's like, oh shit, this thing can see me.
heat seeking.
Yeah.
And then now he's made himself invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that fucking and he's like at the bed of the swampy bit.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at it and the predator, and it's like the first time you see full body predator. And it's fucking huge and jacked.
And
the face and everything.
Oh, yeah, man.
Sensational.
Amazing. And actually what sticks out in my mind is when they are mowing down the jungle with the Gatling gun, but then the eyes, the yellow eyes, you know how he just, he kind of goes invisible.
Yeah.
But then like you see his head. Like it's not that moment, but they chop the whole thing down. But that actor, the African-American actor who's a bit chubby, who's got the Gatling gun, who's like a bit removed. Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I distinctly remember the yellow eyes of Predator, like just...
Through the heat vision thing.
Yeah. It's
Bruh, it's fucking cool.
great. Yeah, great film. Funnily enough, I saw Predator 2 before I saw Predator 1.
Ah, did you?
But also a great film.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, good.
Not as, obviously
Yeah.
not as good.
Gary Busey, not bad.
Donald Glover. Not Donald Glover. Danny Glover. Sorry.
Okay,
Danny
yep.
Glover's the
Yep.
cop in that one.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And that's mad. Anyway. All right. Fuck. Great. I'm flashing back. All right. What am I going to do now? All right. I'm going to go True Lies.
Oh, wow.
Hey, there
yeah,
you
cool.
go. Now that's
a little bit of wholesomeness there too.
There's too much wholesomeness, but when I think about it, there's lots of cliches. But
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis doing the strip dance.
Ah, she was super hot back
She
then.
was in great form. Man, just Arnold hanging off the side of a jump jet with a machine.
The bad guy is just like some kind of Arab.
Such a
They're
stereotypical.
just like, he's a crazy Arab. He wants to
Yeah.
kill everything.
Yeah, but I
It
actually
was like
think
that
he
height
may-
of just ignorance with
But
film.
I think he might have some Pakistani background as a. I think ethnically he's not like Middle Eastern. I think he's
Right.
like
yeah, but they're all bad.
Yeah, Muslim. Kill them. Kill them all. Like, what the hell? But the scene where they're blowing up the bridge, they're driving along the bridge. I think it must be down in Florida or it's somewhere. And they're literally with the jet shooting missiles and blowing up this bridge that they're driving along. It's fucking epic. And then I'm just thinking explosions.
Yeah.
Like, they're holding Jamie Lee Curtis hostage, and he's in there, and he gets in there to rescue her, and then just blows the whole place up. And they go, "We'll just dive into water. That'll save us."
Yes.
You know. And the scene of them diving in the water and
On
all
the
the
flames.
flame coming across the top of the water. It's like it just really sticks in my mind. And then,
What age were you at that for that?
oh,
I think it's a little bit older, right?
yeah, it's no. I was probably maybe 13 when I saw that.
Okay.
And it was just like Arnold was already, huge star.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was family friendly enough that I could get away with watching it.
Yeah.
I guess, like
Yeah.
my mum didn't really want me to watch it, but my dad's like, yeah, let's watch that.
Yeah.
It's mad. And, yeah, that like just there's so many scenes in it where I'm like, this is so unlikely, but it's so exciting. I fucking love this. just stupid stuff.
You know what scene always sticks out in my mind from that film? And that film for me wasn't like super impactful.
No.
But I do remember the scene where Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis, towards the end, where they're dancing in a ballroom.
Yes.
And it's got that classic, I don't know what the
Tango? Argentinian tango?
It's not tango, no, but it's actually it could be. But it has some classic kind of song that's playing.
Yep.
A lot of violin in it. And that song and that scene always remain in my mind.
Sticks in your mind.
Yeah, the you know how like things create nostalgia?
Yes.
Like they're kind of like markers for that.
Yeah.
And that song was like the impactful thing in that moment. Like I'm
Right.
like, I always remember that sound.
Yeah, amazing. For me, I think
JT's like, explosions. Joe's like, it's the classical violin.
Look, I think if you go back and look at the liner notes, the assistant director, shut up, film nerd, I want explosions. No, I think it's a little bit mainstream. Like it's not like ultra violent, but there's a lot of scenes in that which are ridiculous, which just make me go, oh, action.
It was a quantity over quality one, that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Next on my list, and I actually just deleted what I had here.
Oh.
I'll tell you what I deleted. I deleted Die Hard,
Oh.
which was huge for me because I'm like, man, Die
I
Hard
should have
is
said
pivotal.
Die Hard, man.
And I'm like, deleted that, and I've put in Terminator 2.
Oh, you motherfucker. You stole my shit.
You got Terminator?
I do have Terminator.
Yeah. Oh shit! I was kind of looking at your list, but I didn't check in on that. Well, we can
Should've hit
both
my
enjoy this together. But
Alright, please.
Terminator 2, in my opinion, I mean, I haven't watched that for a while. I've seen some little clips of it here and there. I don't think I'm gonna go on the record and say that is potentially one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah.
Like it is fucking solid,
Dun 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 dun
bro.
dun 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 dun.
Yeah, and the scenes on the motorbike, Edward Furlong,
Spinning
loading
the reload with
yeah,
the spin?
yeah.
Bruh.
Well, he throws it one way and the recatch, yeah. Like it was just so fucking sharp, the whole thing.
And it was a time, right, where I feel they use the computer graphics some of the best.
Yeah.
Like the liquid metal, like when he...
The T-1000.
And he's in the asylum.
Yes.
And he goes to walk through the bars and
the gun gets caught,
catches and he has to like pull out. Like there's so many good things in that. Like Arnold as the Terminator, you're like, it's like a part was made for the guy.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to hear him talk about an interview later, they were actually looking at someone else and they were like kind of consulting him about it. And he was like, no, you must move like a machine. And he's talking about this.
Oh, wow.
Like when he reloads the gun,
I've got a fucking lifetime of bodybuilding.
He shouldn't look at it. Like he was explaining the psychology of a machine, that he wouldn't reload a gun by looking at it because he's a machine. He doesn't need to look at it.
Right.
Like you're like, oh, wow. He put some thought into that and he's perfect at it.
I mean, it's kind of wild too, because when you watch the first one,
yeah,
which was he's the bad guy,
yeah,
and then in the second one, it's like they've just transformed him to the and I would say that like that wouldn't have been an ideal situation for the producers or the director to be like, hey, let's like recast Arnold in the opposite role.
Yeah.
They managed to sell it really well, where his first encounter with Sarah Connor, she's like shit scared of him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, come with me if you want to live or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like, all right, I trust this guy. And then, you fall in love with him.
Oh, mate. And the scenes, like she's having those nightmares, the apocalyptic scenes of defense. And
you're all fucking dead. Yeah, that's right. The flame ripping through LA. She's holding onto the fence.
Kids on the swings.
Yeah, brutal.
Man.
Yeah, I think about that shit a lot. I got a little boy now, man.
Dude.
Fuck. Linda Hamilton in the cell with the bed up on the end doing the pull-ups.
And the dips.
Gangster.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, she's in immense shape in that film.
Great form. And then the Billy Club, she's like stalking down the hall. Like she takes the dude out. She's like, she doesn't take her meds or whatever. And she's going to escape. She's got the Billy Club. Like, she's a fucking weapon.
Yeah, she's a killer.
Yeah.
She was like, again, I would say a rarity in terms of like, I guess she's not the hero, but she's one of the heroes.
She's one of the heroes.
Yeah, in that film, like,
yeah,
not many have done it like that.
Nah, and then they go to Cybernet and they get old mate the engineer.
Dyson. Bro, it's the sickest. That scene when they're lowering Arnold, when he's lowering himself at the end,
yeah,
I could cry now thinking about the emotion in that scene.
Yeah.
He's Eddie Furlong's there, Linda Hamilton's there, and he's like, I got to do this, and he's like, lower me, and he gives it to Eddie, and he's like, push the button, and he knows it's what they got to do.
Yeah,
man, it's so big. That's right, the fist.
God, there's so many great scenes in that, man. Like Terminator 2, I definitely, and even like when they're shooting holes in, Ed Furlong's, not Ed Furlong,
T-1000.
The T-1000, when they're shooting holes in him, it's just like, whoosh,
yeah.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
And then he turns his hands into hooks. He's just,
yeah.
He's got that arm pump run and he just goes, gah, gah. Like, fuck.
That was like the first time we'd ever seen that guy as an actor too.
Yeah.
And I would say anything he's ever done since has just sucked because he did so good at that.
Man, he was so frightening as that.
Yeah.
And, I think anyone out there listening, if you grew up in that time, that really set the bar.
Yeah.
Well, you stole it from me, Joe.
Sorry, bro. I'm trying to keep this to a limit though. You know?
I know. We blew out.
I was like, how do we cut down the length of this podcast?
All right, well, that being said, because like
JT's coming in hot now, guys.
No, well, I'm gonna say Die Hard.
Fucking go there.
Fucking let's go. Like Bruce Willis, and for some of you don't know.
Okay, John McClane.
John McClane was actually like a romantic comedy guy. He was in some...
Was he Saturday Night Live or some shit?
No, he was in some stupid rom-com where he's like a bad partner and his wife's a complaining lady, and that's the rom-com.
Yeah.
And so casting, they didn't want to cast him.
Yeah, I heard
They wanted to cast a bunch of other people. And then he's the perfect guy.
They apparently didn't market it when the original trailers that they released for it. You never saw him.
Yeah,
they showed action. You could see him, like his body flying, but it was never like Bruce Willis. It was because they're like, oh, we fucked up here.
Yeah,
and then the film just went bananas,
blew up. And what I love about him is how fucked up he gets. Like,
oh yeah,
he's just progressively getting worse and worse, like hurts his foot, cuts his hand.
Yeah.
He's just looking more and more disheveled, bleeding, messed up. but then also Alan Reichman as the bad guy.
Yeah.
Who's kind of a little bit camp.
Hans Gruber.
He's a little bit,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
But he's great. He's such a good villain. You know, and the fact it's a Christmas movie.
Bro.
Crossing genres, bro.
It makes it, I mean, you see those people, I actually haven't done it, but you see those people like every Christmas, they're like watching Die Hard with the family.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's got their like knitted tops on. Paul, you do that?
Shout out.
Yeah, I think that's fucking sick.
It's great.
What an amazing way to market your film, right? Like, we are going to be the next biggest thing after Santa Claus. You know?
Yeah. I think, you know, like lots of movies stand out in your mind because of different, like one-liners are kind of part of the action movie shtick.
Yep.
You know, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. It's so good. Like, it's so good. And I think the fact that because there's also that funny, weird relationship with the black cop.
Yep.
Who's kind of radioing him. He's like, no, don't send them in and kill everyone. John McClane's in there. He's the only line of communication, and they kind of they cultivate a relationship just by talking over the radio.
Yep.
I felt that was like cool. And then also he's such a dysfunctional partner, but by going through all of this stuff, it's almost like he wins his wife back.
That's right.
In a way.
Yeah.
And he's just a dude. I think that's the thing I love about it.
Because what's the deal? Isn't he? She's at her Christmas party.
Yeah, work Christmas party function.
And she works for the Japanese company, Japanese name, I can't remember what it is, the Nakayomi Corporation or something.
Could be, yeah.
And then what is he like? Has he turned up late or some shit?
Well, I can't remember.
He's fucking it up.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The relationship at the start of the movie is really falling apart. I think she wants to divorce him even. I can't quite remember. But through this kind of endeavor of him just doing whatever he needs to do to save the day.
That's my fucking man right there.
He made it happen. It would never happen without him. And I don't know if you remember the scene where he gets the fire hose and there's like because they've rigged the roof with explosives because he's like, no, don't come up here because they're like, oh, we'll send the hostages up to the roof and you can send down a helicopter to pick them up. And they've rigged the roof with the explosives. And he leaps off the top of the building holding onto a fire hose as like kind of like his bungee cord.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's just like, what will this man not do?
Barefoot too.
Barefoot. Yeah. And bleeding. And mate, there's so many different moments in there that I'm just like, he's not even like a great fighter, you know?
No, it's pure action.
He's not
He's
jacked.
just like, he's got half an idea. He's like, oh, yep, I can get that machine gun. He sends the body up in the lift.
Oh.
The dead guy, and he's got the sign that says, ha, now I have a machine gun too.
Yeah.
It's the best.
That's so
Yeah.
good. Man.
I mean, yeah, that's the quintessential action hero in that he's incredibly flawed. He's the everyman.
Yes.
And he finds himself in a terrible situation and he fucking wins.
Yeah.
That's the hero's journey right there.
Yes, it is. Amazing.
All right, so coming to my second last one, Scarface.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, which well, man, Scarface, I mean, it defined a whole generation of young blokes in many places.
Who wanted to get into cocaine.
That's right. Really the story of a total piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, Tony Montana.
Willing to do anything.
Absolutely destroyed relationships, including with his best friend, killed a bunch of people, but fucking made it big in the coke world. So what's up?
Amazing. Inspirational. Yeah. Life lessons.
That's the funny shit is when you see people who are like, oh man, Scarface is my shit. You're like, bro, he was like literally a fucking monster and he died young. But people are like, that's my shit.
But he wouldn't kill the kid, right? Isn't that the
That's
the
right.
beef?
That's right.
They ask him to do the assassination. He's like, don't fuck with kids, man.
Yeah. Not women, not children. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
So there is a line there.
He's got, that's right. He has morals. There's a code.
There is something to it. It's not just that yes, he's a murderous, ready to die type cat, but he still has standards in there, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be in there to some degree, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But immense. Young man comes over from Cuba at the point when Fidel Castro kicks whoever wants to leave Cuba. He's like, get the fuck out of here, criminals, whatever. Lands in America, decides to get into the coke game, makes it big. captures Michelle Pfeiffer as
Yes.
his woman.
Yeah.
Their relationship
Man, that
deteriorates
scene on
rapidly.
his first mission, when they get him in the shower, like they handcuff dude in the shower, and they got like
Yeah,
a
the
circular saw. Or
Yeah, they got a chainsaw.
chainsaw.
They turn the TV up real loud.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's hackers.
Oh,
And watching that recently, I'm like, I don't think that scene's that hectic. Like, they don't show you that much. They show you quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, chainsaw touching the face. Yeah.
oh man, I do it for fun.
Yeah.
You know, like, what? Psychopath.
But yeah, I fucking love that. And I think, I mean, you know, watching it these days, there's maybe less to appreciate about it. However, the story's awesome and it was impactful on me. I was like, man, Scarface is my shit.
It came first.
Yeah.
Gangster movies, man, it was so much violence as well. Just guns, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
Miami, you know, Cocaine Cowboys. If you're into any of the kind of historical stuff and you throw back to that time, you're like, maybe it's not that far out.
Yeah.
Because the amount of murder and things that were done with people bringing in cocaines from Miami was crazy.
Huge.
Yeah, and he was prepared to do anything. Man, and also just his career, right?
Well, I mean, Pacino, yeah, is a stalwart of the game.
But that is like, I mean,
Oh.
other than Godfather, you're going to say like, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at him, he's just had, like, the guys had fucking hits left, right, and center, right?
Yeah, but that was early. That was reasonably early on.
That
for
was
him.
young. I mean, we
Yeah.
just literally just got off the boat from Cuba, right? I get that
Yeah,
wrong?
I guess. I mean, I think Pacino's Italian, but sure. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Oh, my goodness. Well, look, I'm going to go to something, and people might say this is wholesome, but this is, I love this movie to this day, and I can watch it on repeat. It's one movie I've watched many times and will continue to watch it my whole life. Number 1, Gladiator.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's power.
Bro, I believe that's possibly Russell Crowe's greatest movie. Like, okay, you can say he's done a lot of films, but if you're talking about the role and the way it was shot, mate, those
Fucking cool.
the fight scenes, obviously there's no machine guns and there's no but the battle,
Swords and fucking
the
tigers and
opening
shit.
battle where they're fighting the Germanic hordes,
Yeah.
and the scene, the battle scene, they've got it all lined up, and then they've got the guy. They send out their guy, and then a body comes back without a head.
That's right.
On the horse, and he holds up the fucking head, and is like, I think it's something like, they're not surrendering. You know, like, I think we're gonna have to fight. The scene that I love is where he circles around and he takes all the cavalry behind them, and he says, "Praetorians," and he goes, "What we do now echoes in eternity." You know, like that line. I'm like, oh, that gets me. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it gets me fired up. And he says, "But don't worry, if you find yourself walking through the fields, like taking your hand through the fields, you're in Elysium and you're already dead. So don't worry." And then he's like,
They'll have a laugh, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
They all have a laugh, and he's like, it's cool. Like, he's giving this rousing speech. They're all probably going to die.
Yeah.
But he's like, like, on me. And they all charge. He's got the big helmet. Mate, that scene is so hectic, like cutting heads off, the launching of the fire, the arrows are on fire. Like, it's brutal. That battle, you're like, that's what people did. That was fighting.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like,
And I remember that opening scene, like it sells it, like emotionally it sells you in so hard. You're like, Maximus Decimus Aurelius, this guy's the fucking man, son.
Yeah.
Like you're all about him from that point on.
and the love he has from the men.
Yeah.
And then you've got not Cassius. Is it Cassius, the son of the emperor?
Play Joaquin.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix's character.
What is his name?
Claudius, maybe? Anyway, he's...
Oh, is he? No, it's not Julius. No.
No.
Yeah.
The father is actually meant to be Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
And it's his terrible son. Even though these are fictional relationships, historically it's not accurate. It doesn't matter. Still great. He's such a terrible, like it's that night and day of the stoic doer and then the spoilt kind of entitled incumbent who does nothing.
Yes.
And is a total feckless fool. But then the whole fall, they murder his family.
Wow. Wife and children.
He rides, and then there's a great scene where they're going to execute him, and the guy tries to pull out the sword. And he goes, the frost makes the blade stick. Cuts him open, like just sword play, and then him being a slave again. And I think, I'm trying to remember, correct me if I'm wrong, the name of the slave owner. I think it's Oliver Stone. I think that's the name. He played Bill Sykes in Oliver Twist. He played different famous, but he's the one who says, "Oh, we're going back. We're going back to the big show, Spaniard."
Yes.
Like,
he gives him his armor, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he's like, "I was there. I touched his hand." And he talks about meeting the emperor. And he's like, "You didn't meet Marcus Aurelius." He's like, No, I was there. I swear. And it's that thing. Are you not entertained? How, like, there's so many moments which are just like,
G up.
bro, he just came out and killed 12 dudes by himself.
Yeah.
Holy goodness.
That opening scene where it's like you said, like the love of his soldiers, that plays out again where it's like the love of the other gladiators.
Yeah.
Where they're like, "You're our fucking man."
Spaniard.
There's
Spaniard.
the huge guy.
Yeah.
Who is also one of the supporting actors in Universal Soldier, which was on my early list. I had to clear it because I'm like, no, one Van Damme's enough. But yeah, he was like one of the other Universal Soldiers.
Right, yeah.
I don't know his name. I think he's nameless.
Yeah, but
on this earth, but he's just
a
the big
huge
guy
human.
that's supporting actor in a lot of action stuff.
And he takes the food first. They go to give him Russ his food, and he says, "No, wait."
Oh, right, to make sure. Yeah,
He just clowns him.
yeah.
But he's like, "Yeah, be careful. They want to kill you, man." Because his name's so great, he defies the emperor.
That's right.
But then also Digimon Sinon, who's
The African dude.
African actor. He's so jacked.
What's his name?
Digimon
Yeah.
Sinon.
Wow.
Yeah. Great actor. And there's some pretty great moments, when they play that, like going to heaven music. And he's like, "I will see you again, my friend, but not yet. Not yet." Like it's cool. Like there's that music, it's a Middle Eastern singer, but they play at the credits where he's kind of wavering in between life and death.
He's floating over the fields, isn't he?
He's kind of going to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they bring in that swelling kind of music. It's like, getting emotional right now.
That film's a real tearjerker.
Oh, mate.
Absolutely.
And he gets set up, he stabs him and then puts the armor on him so he's weaker.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Yeah.
When we're watching, damn, this wasn't on my list.
Wow. No, it's all right. We're doing all right. We're good for time. We've got another couple of minutes of our sleep.
But I was just going to say, and this probably should be on my list, but we're here now. We're where we are. Mad Max. When watching the first Mad Max, this is a scene in that where there's a shot where, and I can't remember what happens, but I think Mel Gibson's like close to death.
Yeah.
And he's basically, his body's kind of flying over the land.
Yeah.
And the camera's looking down at him in the foreground, and then
Yeah.
And Misa, my partner, was like, "That's where Gladiator got that shot from."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Holy shit, that's the same shot."
It is.
Yep.
Yeah. And his
Did it
hand
first
is kind
here
of
in Oz.
hanging.
Yeah.
And his hand kind of catches it, and his son and his wife are there in the field. And man, but the scene with the tigers, and he fights the champion with the gold mask.
That's mad.
That's pretty.
That's gangster.
Oh man, there's so many scenes that you're like, whoa, the blades cutting people in half. You're just like, whoa, this is historical. It's action. And it's
I fucking love this documentary.
It's historically accurate. But man, like I said, I used to watch that film all the time. It's just something I love, and I feel like for Russell Crowe, that's probably his best piece of work.
Australian export.
Mate.
Last
Tell me,
one
number
for me. Goodfellas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to bring Mafia. So you said Mafia at the start. I'm like,
You're like, I dropped that, right? I
Yeah,
gave you guys a little
it
hint.
was subtle.
Like,
There was
I just
a
wanted to
seed.
see who's still paying attention. Mafia films for me have always been a big deal. Like, I've always loved Mafia films.
go Godfather, huh?
Oh, Godfather is an amazing, but it's
But
not
it's
an
not-
action.
it hasn't got much action. I rewatched it recently.
Drama, right?
It's more drama than anything.
Goodfellas, arguably, it's not action packed, but it's got some pretty consistent kind of shit going down throughout it.
Yeah.
And I think it's Scorsese's best. Like, you know, he did like a series of mobster films. Apparently they're all connected. There was Mean Streets. The idea is that they each represent a different layer of organized crime.
Oh, okay.
There was Mean Streets, then there was Goodfellas, then there was Casino.
Right.
And then he did Gangs of New York, which was precursor to Mean Streets.
Oh, right.
Apparently, I've never actually heard him talk about that, but I'm like, that makes sense. They're all different layers of kind of crime on the streets at different levels of society. Anyway, Goodfellas is the fucking slickest.
Wow. It's got everyone too, right?
Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah, Rob De Niro.
It's even got...
Ray Liotta passed away just recently.
R.I.P.
Which is, big R.I.P., man. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah. He
Henry
always...
Hill was his character name?
He always seemed to be able to play a really mean bad guy.
Yeah.
Like there's something about his face.
He had that nasty streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of had like a bit of the acne scarring too.
Yeah.
Sort of, which made him like a bit villainous.
And almost like a little bit like pale. And I don't know if they played this up, but a little bit dark under the eyes and then like real blue eyes, like not friendly.
Yeah, nah.
Cold.
Bad dude.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I love that film.
De Niro.
Yeah, I mean, De Niro in Goodfellas he was cool. I think the stars of the show were Ray Liotta and Joe Pesci. Right. Joe Pesci's at his finest just as a motherfucker of a character.
Just getting head jobs.
You getting head, Dad?
Yeah, off, what's her name?
Is that Casino? She's from Sharon Stone.
Oh, maybe I
think that's
messed
that.
it up. My bad.
Yep.
Sorry. Yep, correct.
But does he also fuck around? Does he fuck
thought-
around in Raging Bull? I think he fucks around in Raging Bull too.
I apologize, my lack of memory. I just remember. No, I don't think it was Sharon Stone.
He plays the loose cannon in Goodfellas. I
think it wasn't it Michelle Pfeiffer that he?
No, it was Lorraine Bracco.
Right.
Was the lead of that, who would famously go on to play Dr. Melfi in The Sopranos.
Oh,
she was a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarity.
She never sucked Joe Pesci's dick. All right, let's get one thing fucking straight about Lorraine Bracco.
Touched a nerve there. Sorry, Joe.
Well, on this, it's a bit of a theme for me, guys. You're going to pick this up, but I'm like, man, Lorraine Bracco is so hot.
Joe has just picked all his Hollywood crushes.
Yeah.
He's framed it like, no, this is a real violent film, bro. And it's like, yeah, but this woman is also incredibly. There's a strength to her and there's nuance to her character. She's just beautiful, man. Just keep it real, right? Because when did you see these films, right? You were a teenager.
Well, these would have been, similar. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I saw this shit kind of young because I was the last in line of 3 kids.
Right. So
the
parents
mum
actually
did a bit
didn't
loose.
care. They're like, watch whatever you want.
Family was a bit filmic. So it was like, Martin Scorsese, kind of thing.
Talking about the violence.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I probably saw it when I was like 15 or 14 or something.
Right. That's a big list. There was a lot left out, though.
I mean, there has to be, right?
Dang,
I fucking had to delete Die Hard, How do you think that made me feel, guys? You guys are sitting here watching this shit. You think it's an easy job to sit here and fucking sum it up in 5 great films?
Oh, it's pretty
Fuck,
tough.
You sit in my seat.
you
Walk a day in my shoes.
You feel these shoes. You try and support these eyeballs that have.
I'm going to be getting fucking hate mail for years after this. Man, Die Hard was the best shit. You suck. Unsubscribe.
Yeah, and not delete. No, man, I think there was so many action films that I loved that it's just. But after a while, there was a formula, right? And so people were like, yeah, if we get Arnold and we get this guy and we blow up enough shit, that makes an action film. And then that, there early 90s to late 90s, it did become a formula.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't quite as, impactful.
Well, yeah, that's right. We've a couple of the films in our list are as formulaic, right?
Sure.
And arguably, it's also like when you come into the scene and when this shit hits you.
Oh, sure.
Because I'm guessing we've probably got some listeners who are in their 20s who are like, I've never heard of any of these movies.
What are these films?
Yeah, right. Like Terminator. Yeah, didn't that start at like episode 5?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think that has to be taken into account.
Definitely.
We're showing our age with these ones.
We are, but I think that's okay. We're allowed to because throwbacks are fun. And if you're on this tip and you enjoy these movies, feel free to give us a shout out or maybe even, cast your own top 5. Maybe there were some things we left out that you think maybe we should have done.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. Flicker through on the Instagram or the YouTube or something. Let us know what your top 5 are.
For sure.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Cheers, fam. We'll catch you guys next time.
All right.